Hello and welcome to the 19th episode of Fresh Off the Reel. My name is Lib.
And my name is Vengeance.
What does that mean?
I am Vengeance. I am the Knight. I am a podcast co host.
Oh, you admit it. You're the co-host.
You're also the co host. We are co hosts together.
In this podcast called Fresh Off the Reel, episode 19, Batman Begins. In this movie, Batman Begins.
Yep, and that's the end of the show. Because he does indeed begin in this movie.
Thank you for listening. We'll see you next week. Okay. Let's do this. So Batman Begins is the first of 3 Christopher Nolan Batman movies that many fans say is the best of Batman.
Yeah, I would have to agree. I think of the live action Batman appearances, I'm extremely biased towards Michael Keaton, the 89 Batman. But in terms of just sheer quality, this trilogy is by far the best Batman representation I think as we've ever seen on film. I'm hoping Robert Pattinson's Batman tops these, but I'm a little skeptical, especially with The Dark Knight. I think all 3 of these movies are some of the best superhero movies ever made. We'll talk about that later. um, this is really good. I like this one a lot.
We're doing Batman Begins in anticipation for the Batman, which is coming out March 3rd. So we're all really excited for that. So in anticipation, we're going to be reviewing all 3 Christopher Nolan Batman movies because they're not connected to the Batman. It's just, they're good movies.
Of the Batman movies, aside from 89, I think these are going to be the most fun to talk about. I think these are generally considered everybody's favorites, and I just don't want to talk about the DCEU if I don't have to. So we're doing these ones instead of Batman v Superman. Just to get a little movie history out of the way, little Hollywood history, Batman history. So this movie came out in 2005. The previous Batman movie to come out before this one was a little flick that everybody hates called Batman and Robin in 1997. Now, 1997 to 2005 is a pretty big leap for superhero movies, especially nowadays where we get like 10 a year. And there's a good reason for that. You see, Batman and Robin sucks. But Batman and Robin was so bad that it killed superhero movies in Hollywood for years. Between Batman Begins and Superman 4, The Quest for Peace, we basically didn't get any superhero movies because the audiences hated these that much that no one wanted to go see more. A little flick that I've talked about a lot in this podcast, the Spider-Man 1 by Sam Raimi, saved the genre. But it didn't save Batman because Batman still went 3 more years without a Hollywood appearance at all, which is weird, right? Like when you think about Batman now, he's in so many movies, he's in so much of pop culture, but he went a long time without a movie appearance. 8 years. That's a long time. But he came back with a banger. This movie is real good.
Yeah, and I never saw it until this week. That goes for all the Batman movies. I haven't seen any of them except for Batman, the Tim Burton one, the one that's just called Batman, where Jack Nicholson is the Joker, and that one's pretty good.
Yeah, that one is really good. I think Batman Returns is also pretty good. Batman Forever is like that's a different discussion, and we don't talk about Batman and Robin if we don't have to. Fun fact: as a joke in high school, I took my DVD copy of this movie and I broke it, cracked it in half.
Why?
Because I watched AVGN do that to an NES cartridge, and I thought it was funny, so I did that to my Batman and Robin copy.
Do you still have it?
No, it's in the garbage. It's in the garbage like 15 years ago.
Damn, that would have been funny.
That was a thing that happened.
That sounds like a thing that happened.
And I never replaced that copy. I should probably do that. With the Blu-ray because I'm a whore.
Birthday gift idea. Anyways.
Oh, please don't. But yeah, the Batman Begins.
Yeah, so let's talk cinema. Pat, why don't you read the synopsis? Because you have it up.
Yep, I'm reading the Google synopsis. We usually read the Letterboxd one, but the Google one is much better. So yeah, a young Bruce Wayne travels to the Far East, where he's trained in the martial arts by Henry Ducard, played by Liam Neeson, a member of the mysterious League of Shadows. When Ducard reveals the League's true purpose, the complete destruction of Gotham City, Wayne returns to Gotham, intent on cleaning up the city without resorting to murder. And with the help of his butler Alfred and Lucius Fox, a tech expert at Wayne Enterprises, Batman is born. This description really should
Ooh.
have said Batman Begins, but anyway.
Yeah, Batman began in this movie because it's a reboot.
Yep, this is a the first of many Batman reboots.
It's like I just realized Batman Begins is quite comparable to Casino Royale in that they are both reboots of series that had long-lasting continuities.
Yep, and they came out at around the same time. They have a pretty similar tone. Yeah, I think Casino Royale is a good comparison point.
Yeah.
Look at us talking about Bond.
Look at us, couple of cards.
A couple of cards at a
A
casino
couple
royale.
aces of my sleeve, maybe?
Is this casino in Gotham City? Maybe.
Should we review Casino Royale with how much we talk about it?
Maybe one day.
Maybe one day. But today we're talking about Batman Begins.
So, but like we said earlier, Batman Begins is directed by Christopher Nolan. I think everyone knows him for Inception, as you should, because Inception's great.
Yeah, and last episode we briefly mentioned a Christopher Nolan film, Tenet, which was recommended to me, and I quite liked it.
And it is his most recent movie. Batman Begins, and I should say the whole Dark Knight trilogy is very different than his usual shtick. This trilogy is very by the numbers superhero storytelling. Like it has Nolan's charm, but it's not like a weird psychedelic fuck mind fuck of a movie like his other stuff.
And Christopher Nolan's thing is fucking with you. This movie doesn't really fuck with you.
Yeah, this is just a Batman story. It's a damn good Batman story, but it's not a mind fuckery.
But I will say that this movie could have fucked with you if Scarecrow was done a different way, but we'll talk about that when we get to
Yeah,
it.
we'll talk about it. But yeah, we got a pretty killer cast. We have Christian Bale as Bruce Wayne.
Ooh.
Everyone has seen and loved American Psycho. We have Michael Caine, my boy, as Alfred.
Sir Michael Caine.
Sir Michael Caine.
As we discussed the last episode.
I am sorry for disrespecting him. We have Katie Holmes as Rachel, only in this movie because she's recast in the next one. But Katie Holmes is a big name. We got Liam Neeson as Henry Ducard or Ra's al Ghul. I'll probably be flip-flopping between calling him Ra's and Raish. This movie is at fault for why everyone does that. We'll talk about that later. We have the boy, the man himself, Gary Oldman as Jim Gordon, who I love. We got Morgan Freeman. We got Ken Watanabe. It's killer cast. This movie's full of huge talent. We have Cillian Murphy. This is great. This movie's cast is great. The performances in this movie are fantastic, I have to say.
This has a crazy cast. And they all I think they all do great jobs.
The fact that they maintain this like killer all-star cast and quality for 3 movies is crazy because that usually doesn't happen. Usually they fall off. But I think the cast get like better and better over time, and they get like a bigger with talent over time. You know, yeah, we got Tom Hardy in the third one. Like we got Heath Ledger in the second one. Like these casts get so good.
I forgot to say our ratings for the movie.
Oh yes,
I gave it 3 stars. That seems low, but it's not. Okay.
six isn't low. Six is above average, I'd say.
I think we say this every time we talk about 3-star ratings, but we just need to get that out of the way because a lot of people think that when you give a movie 3 out of 5, it means it's not good. When you give a video game 3 out of 5, it means it's not good. That's not what that means. It means it's above average. Average is 2.5. Because that's smack in the middle, you know.
Generally, six and above or 3 and above. I liked it. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I enjoyed this movie.
2.5 to a 5. Like I kind of liked it, but like it wasn't great. And then like 2 to 1.5. That's when we started having problems.
Yeah.
But I gave this movie a 4 out of 5. This movie is weird. I was talking with Lib about it off camera. But depending on my mood and depending on how I feel watching them, this becomes my favorite or my least favorite of the trilogy. So it's either, and that's just to say, like, the other 2 are really good. This movie's also really good. But for me, it flip flops between being a 3.5, a 4, and a 4.5. It really depends because I think this movie, especially like in film, is the definitive Batman origin story. I don't think any of the other movies, including the Keaton one that I love, gets close in terms of like adapting this story. I think Bale's portrayal of Batman is fantastic, especially here. I think he nails the Batman voice the best in this one. I love the suit in this one. I think the suit is my favorite of the three. Stiff neck and all. We'll talk about that later.
Oh yeah, forgot about that.
Yeah, I think just as a Batman portrayal, this is just the best. But The Dark Knight is cinema, and despite my issues with The Dark Knight Rises, I think it has some pretty damn great moments, and I love that movie's ending. So like it flip flops for me between these three, but I love them all.
Within the next 2 episodes, we're going to be doing The Dark Knight, and then after that, we're going to be doing Dark Knight Rises. So stay tuned to hear our thoughts on that. And then after, we're going to do the Batman. Super excited for that.
The Batman is going to be on HBO Max, I believe, a month or like 40 days after its theatrical run. So I'm going to be seeing it in theaters. So whatever episode we're doing after I see the Batman, I'll talk about it briefly then.
Well, yeah, actually, I don't want to get people's hopes up by accident, but I hear COVID restrictions are lifting after March, so we'll see. I might be able to watch it in theaters.
Maybe. But if you aren't, I will be. I'll have something to say. And regardless of if COVID restrictions are lifted and he's able to see it or not in theaters, we will be covering the Batman at some point. It's supposed to go on demand like soon after its theatrical run.
Yeah. So that being said, if we do both end up watching it in theaters, we're gonna record the episode earlier.
Yeah.
But enough with movies that are not Batman Begins.
Yeah. Actually, one more thing about movies that aren't Batman Begins, and something to date the podcast a little bit. So at the time of recording, tickets went on sale yesterday
Oh yeah.
for the Batman, and I got my tickets.
Oh, you already got it?
I'm ready. Yes, sir.
Hell yes.
I am ready to watch the Battinson.
catch Pat at a theater in Montreal.
Yeah, if you happen to be at that very specific theater, I'm not gonna name in Montreal,
you
you'll
might
see
see
me
him.
there. I'll cosplay as Thomas Wayne.
Okay. All right, let's do this. So, I'm sure you could already tell that this is a Pat episode.
Yep, I'm a huge Batman fan. Aside from like Spider-Man, I think Batman's probably my second favorite superhero.
I'm very clueless with Batman. I've only of what I know, my information for Batman is Arkham Asylum, not the other 3 games, and the Lego Batman games. That's it. Oh, and the Tim Burton movie, and now this. So
Yeah, the Tim Burton movies is
the first Tim Burton movie.
yeah, the 89 is a kind of a weird adaptation because Batman kills people in it. But that was a different era. That was the 80s, you know.
Oh wait, and also an obscure DVD that I still have called Scooby Doo Meets Batman that I used to love as a kid.
I love that movie. I love that. I actually love that one. I watched Batman BT last year, or no, 2 years ago. It was during and that movie's actually like amazing. Like, unironically, Batman versus TMNT is amazing.
I've never heard of this. I need
Okay,
to look this up.
one day, like off camera, and one day I'm gonna show it to you because it's so good. Batman says it's pizza time, and then the turtles say cowabunga, and it's amazing.
Oh my god. This is amazing. I just looked it up.
And I think Kevin Conroy voices Batman in it, so it's even better.
That's fucking amazing.
Yeah, so like I've said several times at this point, Batman Begins is a reboot. It is the classic origin story. It's the first time we've seen it since the 80s at this point. Nowadays, everyone's kind of tired of seeing Thomas and Martha Wayne be shot in that alley. But in 2005, this was the first time we had seen it since 89. And it was the first time that era of Hollywood saw it at all. This movie really brought Batman back into the forefront. Because of Batman and Robin's failure, and just like a Marvel kind of owning the scene for those first couple of years, Batman kind of got forgotten, and this was everyone's reintroduction with Nolan. I also for Nolan as a director, like don't get me wrong, Nolan was a big name at the time, but Batman Begins and like this trilogy really like brought him out of like the outside that niche moviegoer, that niche film buff scene. Not like these movies really made Christopher Nolan a household name. At least I believe so.
Yeah, I think before this, there were only a couple Nolan films. There was Memento and Insomnia before Batman Begins.
Yeah, Memento is fantastic. I love Memento.
Yeah.
But Memento is a niche like film buff movie. I don't think it's a general audience kind of movie. So and Batman Begins was that first like big general audience movie. It's a lot like Raimi's Spider-Man 1, where like Raimi made the Evil Dead movies and stuff before Spider-Man, but Spider-Man was that first like household name movie he made
Right.
that really put him on the map. This was Nolan's version of that. So like we're introduced to this interpretation of the character. We start off with Bruce going on this journey, learning martial arts, and then we're thrown into his origin story that everyone has seen. Even if you're not a Batman fan, even if you don't know Batman, you know what happens to Thomas and Martha Wayne. It's referenced everywhere. It's referenced constantly. It's been readapted constantly, and I have the opinion that we never have to see Thomas and Martha Wayne be shot again. Like I think everyone knows. So like it's gonna happen in the Batman, like for sure. But we don't need to. I think this death has been done to death. But I have to say I really like Thomas and Martha in this movie. Unlike especially Batman v Superman, where all we see is their death in a flashback. But even like the older movies, we don't really get to see Thomas and Martha as characters. They're just motivation for Bruce to put on the cowl. And this one, we actually get to spend some time with Thomas. Thomas specifically. We don't see Martha too much, but we get to see Thomas and Bruce as a child interact a lot. And we kind of get to know him, and we get to know how his mind works. And like he's not around much because he dies early in the movie, but they do kind of get you to care about him at least a little. Before he's eventually shot in that alley, and it's really cool. You don't get that often, even in animated stuff or the comics. Nowadays, that death has been like completely purposed. It doesn't have that same impact it did in like the 60s. And Thomas Wayne is also like a much bigger character now than he was back then. Like now he's in Flashpoint and he's Batman in some universes and he's interacted with the main universe Batman. So like it's just weird. But this one I think is really humble. It's really down to earth. I like it a lot. What do you have to say about Batman's parents? I've been talking a lot.
uh,
What's your opinion on Batman's parents, Lib?
Thomas was a pretty interesting character. He's like, the textbook rich guy, but he actually has a heart, That's all I have to fucking say. Like I don't
They're not in the movie much, so like I guess I'm throwing that on you, right?
I don't have much. I kind of want to play Persona 5 right now.
You can play Joker in Persona 5 soon. But first we have to get to Joker in Batman.
Well, that's next week. God
Yeah,
damn.
so like, Bruce's parents are shot and we move on.
Yeah, no,
And,
I'm just gonna let you talk until I have things to actually say. So,
damn, okay.
you know what, Pat? You are the host for this episode.
For this week, I'm the host.
You are the host.
So we're also introduced to Rachel in this scene. We're introduced to kid Rachel, but we also get Bruce leaving on his journey. Rachel, but she's like the groundwork for who we're going to interact with for the rest of the movie. I mentioned this earlier, but Rachel is replaced in the next. She's recast. So we have Katie Holmes here. What'd you think about Katie Holmes in this movie? Because you're never going to see her again.
I mean, like, trying to ignore the fact that I know she gets recasted, but she was kind of forgettable here. Like, I didn't think she had that big of an impact. I kind of forgot her role. What is she? She's like love interest.
She's
like,
she's love. Oh yeah, she's love interest, but she's also the assistant DEA. I think that's what that's called.
Oh right, yes.
She's a lawyer. She's a lawyer for the city.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. She's Daredevil.
No. Like, Daredevil's a defense attorney. She's like the guys Daredevil fights against in court.
The prosecution.
Sure. Yes.
Okay.
She's the city's lawyer.
Oh wow. Okay. Yeah.
And she's also like Bruce's anchor to his like old life or his humanity, I guess. Because like the whole thing with Batman is like like who's the mask? Is it Bruce Wayne or is it Batman? And there's many different interpretations of that. No one can seem to agree, and I'm not gonna put my 2 cents into it because I don't want to start a war. But she's supposed to act like that anchor to his humanity,
right?
And I think she's boring as fuck. Like I don't like her.
I didn't like her very much either.
And I might be a little biased because she's recast by Maggie Gyllenhaal in the next one, and she's much better.
Any relation to Jake Gyllenhaal?
I think so.
They're like his
Let's let's
sister or
let's
something.
let's fact check. Hold on. Let's fact check.
Maggie Gyllenhaal.
Yes, she is his sister.
Yeah, she's his sister. Holy shit. Nice.
Mysterio and Rachel are
Oh,
siblings.
she was in Donnie Darko? Was she? Well, who was she?
She's a much better
She was Elizabeth.
actress, but also as Rachel. Not to shit on Katie Holmes, because I think Katie Holmes is a very talented actress, but I don't think she's given that much to do in this movie. She kind of hovers over Bruce like his mom, and like waggles her finger at him, but otherwise doesn't do much. She's kind of a generic love interest. I think Anne Hathaway in the third one is a much better love interest, and I'll save who that is for that episode. For all two people who don't know who Anne Hathaway plays in Dark Knight Rises. It's a Google search away if you don't know. But yeah, I think she works better as a love interest for Bruce. But I also just think those kind of love interests are better for Batman than love interests for Bruce Wayne, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I like the idea that Batman needs to be grounded and he has to like have that balance. But I don't like the finger waggling I'm your mom attitude that Rachel has in this movie.
I'm your mom.
Oh, Bruce, you can't be vengeful. You don't shoot the guy. I'm gonna is like exact dialogue in this movie.
Well, speaking of exact dialogue, can we talk about where he's like, I don't know anything, I swear to God, and he's like, swear to me.
To me, I love that scene so much.
That's such a
I
ridiculous line. It's so
it is
funny.
such a ridiculous line, but it's better in this movie because the Batman voice hasn't been butchered yet. So at least it kind of sounds cool a little bit. Like thinking about him saying that exact line in like The Dark Knight Rises, I would have laughed my ass off. Like in the theater, would have like lost my mind because in like The Dark Knight Rises, he sounds like he's chain smoking.
Can't wait to get there.
It's not even a Batman voice anymore. It's just Christian Bale
Hey,
after
listen,
Puffin.
listen here, man. I'm vengeance. Okay.
That's it basically. That's it's so bad. I don't know how that voice gets worse with every movie, but it does. Like
uh,
even like Affleck's Batman voice is better.
we
Yeah,
still don't know much about Pattinson's Batman voice, but we'll see.
yeah. I think in the first trailer it didn't sound that great, but in the newer stuff it sounds better. But we also haven't heard like a lot of it, so here's hoping.
I mean,
Because I think
the movie's almost 3 hours long, so yeah, like here's hoping.
and maybe he's Bruce Wayne for like 2.5 of those 3 hours. He only puts on the cowl for 10 minutes.
Wait, what was that joke you said? The movie's only 5 minutes. All it's just I am vengeance, and it's
Oh yeah, yeah,
two and
yeah,
a
yeah. It
half
just says
hours.
I'm vengeance, and the rest of it is credits. That's all. That's all I need. I just need to say I am vengeance. I am the night. I am Batman, and then it's credits. I'm sold. 5 out of 5 instantly.
Okay, so let's let me join the conversation here. See, I want to give my opinion on Christian Bale as Bruce Wayne Batman. You know,
Oh, yeah, sure. We didn't really do that. Yeah,
yeah.
you
So
could start that one.
yeah,
Sure.
we could go with the cast here. So Christian Bale as Batman. Now, Batman's an interesting character for me. I don't know if everyone else feels the same way. But it's like let's do a little exercise here. I want you to picture Captain America. I want you to picture Spider-Man. I want you to picture like Iron Man. You can picture a voice and a face. But when you picture Batman, I cannot picture a face. I could only picture a voice. So no actor really sells me as Batman until I get used to one. But they change the actor so many times that I can't get used to one actor for Batman. So Christian Bale as Batman is so far my favorite. Not but it's the voice, you know. You have to nail the voice for it to be Batman in my head.
Yeah,
I don't know if everyone
I
else
I,
is like that.
I agree. And for me, like the definitive Batman is Kevin Conroy, who is just a voice. He's Batman in Batman the Animated Series,
Right.
and most of the Arkham trilogy, as well as some other things. I say most because they replaced him for Origins and just Origins for some reason.
That is weird. What, they brought him back for Night, but then
Yeah,
Origins
yeah,
was.
yeah. They just replaced him in Origins.
That's so weird. What about the VR game? Is he like
I think he's still Batman in the VR game.
okay? But anyways, not a video game podcast. I think Christian Bale does a pretty good Batman voice, and he's a good Bruce Wayne. This movie really makes me want to watch Gotham. I've had friends tell me to watch Gotham for years, and I keep saying I'm gonna watch it, and then I never do.
Gotham's good. I actually like. I have issues with it overall, especially the later seasons. But generally, I think Gotham's pretty good. And honestly, like, do you care if I spoil very obvious things in Gotham?
If it's super obvious, then no, I don't care.
It's super obvious. It's like when the show premiered, they outright said this.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So like, obviously, Gotham it's a prequel. Obviously, the show ends with him becoming Batman. We don't actually see him become like as Batman for much. This was like straight up said in when the show premiered, like that the finale would be him becoming Batman, and they kept true to that. And I think Gotham, like in the tonally, it doesn't connect to this movie, but I think tonally, if Gotham was a prequel to this movie, I would believe it.
Okay.
That's not what happens, but I think like if you just told me like yeah, this is just a prequel to Gotham, this is a prequel to like the Dark Knight trilogy, I'm like yeah, that I believe it. I think in terms of tone, they fit super well. I think as interpretations of these characters, Gotham fits these movies the best out of anything. Maybe these movies were the inspiration for how they portrayed these characters, but generally, I think Gotham and these movies pair very well together.
Speaking of like tone, like this movie's tone is great. Like I love dark movies, and this is where Christopher Nolan really shines. Like where you could really tell that this is a Christopher Nolan film because he doesn't do many dark films. This is a great one. The tone is done almost perfectly because there's one character that really fucking takes you out of it, and it's Scarecrow.
I don't like Scarecrow in general.
I love Scarecrow.
I hate him in the Arkham games. I don't like him in Gotham. I don't like him in the comics. And I don't like him here. But I think his actor does a great job. I just don't like his inclusion. But otherwise, yeah, I think the tone here is really good. It's like the perfect level of like darkness and light for a Batman story.
Yeah.
Because like for me, I always hated when, especially that's why I don't like the DCEU interpretation of Batman. When it's like when he's too dark and brooding. Like I know, but it's Batman. He's supposed to be a dark and brooding character. But what I like about Kevin Conroy's Batman is like he does that like serious dark edginess, but he also like cracks a one liner. I really liked that. And I think this movie and the rest of the trilogy does that really well. Like at the house party scene when Alfred is like, oh, your guests are here, like you can't just leave, and Bruce is like, I'll tell that one joke and like leaves. Like I just thought that was like really funny. Like
Yeah.
it's like Batman is so good with like just dry humor, and I think this trilogy, but especially this movie, does it really well. Like you need it because if Batman's just brooding and mopey all the time, you don't want to watch him. Like he's not fun to watch.
Yeah.
So like these little jokes are great. They go a long way. And like Scarecrow, who I wish wasn't in this movie, and I completely forgot was in the third one. We watched this movie together and like with some other friends, and someone had to remind me that Scarecrow came back because I completely forgot he was in Rises.
Speaking of that, someone, I guess we should give him a shout out. That was Dante. He's got a YouTube channel, Dante Del Tordo. And the reason why I bring him up is because this is his words. He said that this is the best Batman movie. Again, I haven't seen all of them, so I don't know yet. But Dante, if you're listening to this, all I did was watch this one, and I do not agree.
I don't agree, but this one's pretty good.
It is very good. But going back to the cast,
Yeah, I didn't say what I thought about Tristan Bale, but I'll go through it quickly because I did kind of like hinted. I like dropped little one lines here and there. I think Bale's pretty good. I think he does a great Bruce Wayne. I think his Batman's pretty good. I think he's best as Batman in this movie. But yeah, I think he's a good actor. But he's not Kevin Conroy. But we have a more important actor coming up that is much better.
Yeah, so Sir Michael Caine is up next.
He plays Alfred.
He plays Alfred, and like
He's the best
best
Alfred.
Alfred, best Alfred. I mean, come on, he's funny. He's he's fucking sexy.
He's sexy. He's funny. He's charming. He has the best relationship with Bruce, I think.
I would sit in a room with just me and Michael Caine and let him speak to me about his life story for all eternity. I love his voice. I love him. He's such a great actor. I would die for this man.
Yeah, he's really good here. Like I genuinely love his portrayal as Alfred. I'm excited to see Andy Serkis as Alfred in the next movie. But like when I close my eyes and I think about Alfred, it's this one. It's Michael Caine.
Yeah, for sure. I love him so much. I love his voice. God damn, I
He
love his
has
voice.
he has that perfect blend of like I need to be like serious and I have to be like, but I'm also his like guardian. Because like that's the thing is Alfred might be his butler, and he might be his like guy in the chair when he's Batman. But at the end of the day, like Alfred is his dad.
Yeah,
You
he
know.
raised him.
Yeah, and I think Michael Caine, especially like over the course of this trilogy, really shows that caring parental figure that I don't think any other Alfred in movies anyway has gotten. I like Andy Serkis is weird, and actually I love Alfred in Gotham too. It's another
Yeah,
thing off
I was about
trilogy.
to ask who plays Alfred in Gotham.
I don't remember the actor's name, but he's fantastic.
Okay.
And like Andy Serkis gives me a similar vibe to Gotham's Alfred, where like he's gonna be more of a hard ass than a soft parental figure, which is fine. Like that's okay too. But I don't know. I like Michael Caine a lot. I want to give him a hug. Whenever he's on screen, I just want to give him a hug.
Okay, I looked it up. His name is Sean Pertwee. That's Alfred in Gotham.
Yeah, he's really good.
Speaking of people with amazing voices, not only do you have Sir Michael Caine in this film, we Morgan Freeman is here too.
Yeah, Morgan Freeman plays Lucius, and he's great. I love his banter with Bruce. I think he and Christian Bale have great chemistry. They're so good together. I'm happy he stays for the whole trilogy.
Morgan Freeman is one of my favorite actors, like in general. My favorite movie of his. Ooh, I was about to say Seven, but then I remembered he was in the Shawshank Redemption. It's like a tie between those two.
Yeah, Seven is my favorite movie he's in, but this is really good. He's good here.
We should do the Shawshank Redemption.
We should do Seven too. We should just do lots of good movies. We should stop doing stupid comic book movies, and we should do cinema. We should do fine art films.
What's his character's name again? Forgot. Oh,
Lucius Fox.
Lucius Fox. Okay, I'm gonna call
Yeah,
him Fox.
he's great. He's great. He's fun. He has good banter with Bruce. I like his little redemption arc with this big CEO man. I don't remember the name of.
Yeah,
It's really cute. I like it a lot.
he's. I
Um,
would also die for this man.
Same. I'm gonna skip over one character because I want to do him last.
Yeah.
But so we'll do Gary Oldman next. Gary Oldman is in this movie. I love Gary Oldman. He plays Jim Gordon, one of my favorite Batman characters,
All
and
right.
I love him.
I wasn't planning on talking about Gary Oldman, but
Gary Oldman's great.
so Gary Oldman plays a character named Warden in Rainbow Six Siege. He has the ability to see through smoke with his cool glasses and his watch. Okay, enough with the jokes. Yeah, so he plays Jim Gordon, like Pat said.
Yeah, I mean, Warden looks exactly like Jim Gordon. It
Yeah,
is
I just had to
like
throw in that inside joke.
it's clearly intentional, right? Like it has to be.
I think he's meant to be like a James Bond type character, but
Yeah,
anyways, I like Jim Gordon. He's cool.
I like him a
Was
lot.
he in Tim Burton Batman?
Yes,
Okay,
he's in
yeah.
every Batman.
Okay, I don't
It's
remember
just
him.
yeah, his importance in '89 is a lot like smaller. Um, but he's in it. Yeah, he's just a cop in '89.
Yeah, here in this movie, and I'm sure in this whole trilogy, they're gonna have a bromance going.
Yeah. This movie really popularized the Jim and Batman working together thing. Like it was in the comics, like it was always in the comics, but in like big adaptations, we never really got to see it until this movie, and it became like a mainstay. J.K. Simmons does it for the DCEU. He's in the Batman. He's in the Arkham games. Like he's like their dynamic is really important to the Batman mythos, and this movie really popularized it.
Hold on, wait. J.K. Simmons is Gordon in the DC universe.
Yep.
Oh
Yep.
shit.
Yep. I don't like him as Jim Gordon.
He
If I'm
needs
being perfectly honest,
he needs pictures of Batman.
he needs he needs pictures of Batman and the Spider Man.
There's your Spider-Man
He's
reference.
he's getting he's getting pictures of everybody.
And he needs to be on your tempo,
Yes. There's your La La Land and Whiplash
and
reference.
then he's gonna fire you for not playing the set playlist. Fuck.
I don't like him as Jim, but maybe if we ever cover those movies, which I don't want to, but if we do, we'll talk about it then.
I don't want to.
Yeah, I don't want to either.
I mean, if of all of that, the only movie we might do is the Snyder Cut. But
Maybe. Yeah,
still,
he's in the Snyder Cut, so if we ever do the Snyder Cut, we could talk about him then.
yeah, that's what I was saying.
Yeah, but I don't want to do that either. But we'll see.
All right, moving on. Oh, well, okay, we did all the good
Yeah,
characters.
yeah. I just want to pay special mention to Ken Watanabe. He's not in the movie much. He's used as a twist, not main villain. But he's really good. I love Ken Watanabe. I'm happy he's here. He plays a pretty good Ra's al Ghul, but he's not the real Ra's. The real one is played by the goat, Liam Neeson.
All right, let's get to the bad guys.
What'd you think about Ra's in this movie, Lib?
I have no fucking clue who Ra's al Ghul is. I had to do some research before watching the movie. Didn't figure it out, but
He's basically an immortal guy who is the head of the League of Assassins.
can you please explain the League of Assassins?
The League of Assassins are the League of Shadows in this movie because assassin's a naughty word. They're
Okay,
basically just a league of ninjas, or super ninjas, I should say,
I see.
that dictate the flow of history. Whenever humanity is going awry, they get involved, and whenever they feel they need to write the course of history, they kill everybody.
That sounds pretty cool.
They are a group of people who have been amongst humanity for thousands of years, and Roz is basically immortal because of a pit of water that he takes a sip of or bathes in.
So he's
That's
like,
not referenced in this movie at all. I don't think the Lazarus pit ever comes up.
all right, so that's some comic book shit. So
It's in the Arkham series if you get that far into the game.
which I've only played fucking Asylum and I
He's in,
didn't finish it.
he's in all of them
Cool.
except Origins.
Why is Origins the standout? Okay, anyways,
I'm pretty sure Origins was made by like it's made by a different studio or a different team.
no, it was still Rocksteady. I think it was a
It,
different
it might be a
director.
different team, maybe. Origins is weird. It's a weird game.
It's weird, cause for some reason, whenever Steam or anywhere like sells the Arkham games as a bundle, it's always either missing Origins or it's all of them except Asylum. It's weird. Okay, but anyways, not a video game podcast.
Not a video game podcast. Yeah, I like him as Roz a lot, personally.
Yeah, so I liked him as a Ra's al Ghul. He was pretty cool. Ow, ow, my ear's ringing.
Ooh, unfortunate.
Ow. What
Is
the
your ear
fuck?
ringing and you hear the sound of a bat?
No.
Did I mention that Bruce is afraid of bats?
Wait, are we keeping this
That's
in?
Yes, we are.
Why?
We can cut it. It's fine.
Okay, I'm good. Okay, we're good. Okay, I like Neum. I like Liam Neeson as Ra's al Ghul. He's a pretty cool villain, but he doesn't have a huge presence in the film because you see him like in the
Intro.
yeah, you see him in the intro when there's the whole the martial arts training going on, and him and Bruce actually get along then. But then Bruce is like, oh no, he's bad near the end.
Well, It's not that he's bad, it's that they just Bruce is a little baby and doesn't want to kill people. And
Uh,
I'm gonna be real, I love Batman, and I like that he sticks by his no-kill rule, but he'd be helping a lot of people if he just killed his criminals.
and the final battle is really cool. Actually, it's done pretty well.
Yep. My second favorite train scene in a movie, a superhero movie,
Second favorite trains. What's your first?
Spider-Man 2.
Oh. Duh.
Who saw that coming?
Not me.
Yeah, clearly not you. Yeah, I think his dynamic with Bruce is really good. He operates in the shadows, haha, League of Shadows. For the most part, Roz was never like a super imposing villain, even in the comics. He does have a physical presence, like he does challenge Bruce physically in this movie and in the comics, but he is very much more of a ringleader of of his group of ninjas more than he is a physical fighter. Like he's not Bane, you know.
You come back?
He comes back in. He has a cameo in Rises,
Oh, okay.
and he's referenced in the Dark Knight, but he doesn't physically come back.
Okay, all right. Should we move on to the next antagonist?
Scarecrow is
This
boring. I don't like
this
him.
is the one I have a lot to say about.
I'll let you take the lead.
Okay, coming from the games, I really like Scarecrow. Okay, like I really like villains that break the fourth wall in games specifically. I think one of the best ones that do this, and I think Pat's gonna agree with me on this, was Psycho Mantis in Metal Gear Solid. Really cool villain because he would like fuck with you and like read your memory card and whatever. And Scarecrow did something similar in I think it was Asylum, yeah, where he would like make you think your save file got deleted. He would change the volume of your TV. Well, you would think like he'd put it lower, and then you go, "What the fuck?" and you put the volume higher, and then he fucking jump scares you. He was such a cool villain. His fight was boring, but
Like Scarecrow is not like a fight villain,
yeah,
right?
he's a psychological villain. He gets into Batman's brain, and that kind of happens in the movie. But I think in the movie he was kind of disappointing because not a problem with Cillian Murphy. I think his performance was outstanding. It's just they didn't really do much with Scarecrow. Like, you know what I mean? What's his name? Jonathan Crane, that's his name. They focused a lot on like Crane and Scarecrow's, like you said, Scarecrow's shtick is not really having a huge presence, but he had barely any presence in this film, and he was defeated very easily.
Because Crane's shtick in this movie is he's basically building an army of crazed inmates for Raish. He's building an army for Raish, and he's building like not slaves. I don't want to say slaves, but
Puppets
like puppets to like mass produce that shit they put in the water, which we have not mentioned.
to turn the frogs
um,
gay.
yeah, that's the frogs gay. Yeah, Roz's whole plot in this movie, like his whole evil villain plan, like he wants to destroy Gotham by pumping a bunch of scarecrow juice into the water. I'm just gonna call it scarecrow juice because it's better than fear toxin. See, it was like we're gonna pump the scarecrow juice into the water supply of the city, like into the pipes, and then Roz is gonna use this EMP steam water disperser on Gotham, which will disperse all the water into the air, and then everyone's gonna go crazy with fear juice and kill each other. And if that doesn't work, Roz is just gonna blow up the city. That's his evil plan. And Crane is like getting people to mass produce the juice and to put it into the water. That's their whole shtick. It's like I think like he does a good job at like he interacts with Carmine Falcone, who isn't in this movie much,
Oh yeah, Falcone.
or Falcone.
Oh yeah.
They call him Falcone in this.
Hey, people making movies, us spaghettis, it's pronounced Falcone, okay?
But I think the mask looks cool, like the scarecrow mask itself. It's just I don't like Crane, like his look. And I guess that's the point. It's like you lure people in with a false sense of security. Like, oh, this guy looks like skinny and lanky, and I could probably beat him up. But I can't take him serious when it looks like I could punch him in the face and he'd cry. That's the point. I think anyway, but it just doesn't work for me. I'm really biased and I hate Scarecrow because he scared me in Arkham Knight, and I'm never forgiving that character. I don't do jump scares well, and that game has a big jump scare at the beginning of the fucking game.
Oh, wait, are you talking about the one on the boat?
No, in the restaurant, like literally
Oh.
at the start of the game. You boot the game and it's a jump scare.
Okay. Also, wait, do you know about the Man Bat jump scare in that game?
Yeah. The Arkham series has jump scares, and I hate it.
Yeah,
I love Arkham City.
For people who don't know, if you play the game on Halloween, you'll get a Man Bat jump scare.
I don't like games that hurt my feelings.
I guess we should talk about like the ending because we didn't even mention the ending.
Batman fucking kills Raish, dude.
Yeah, he fucking murders him.
Cold blood. Oh yeah, but he doesn't kill him. The train falling off the tracks kills him.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Batman didn't kill him. He just didn't save him. That's how Bruce Wayne sleeps at night.
This is why it's not 4 stars for me. It's the ending.
Yeah. So like Batman, everyone knows Batman's no kill rule. He has a no kill rule. He doesn't want to become his villains. And I think that's very admirable. Except when he just lets people die, because that's not better, Bruce. Like, you don't have the moral high ground when you could have saved your villain and you didn't. You might as well have just killed him.
I think you need to go to ethics training, Batman.
Yeah, and on that note, comic book Batman, please just kill the Joker. It's been like 70 years. Just kill him.
Oh my god.
Injustice Superman had it right. Just fist through the chest. Yeah, so I like the ending. I like the whole like race to the finish. Like, what's gonna happen is the water gonna get dispersed and the machine go off, or is Batman gonna stop the train from hitting Wayne Tower? Because Wayne Tower is like the center of Gotham in this universe.
Yeah, and that like all the water supplies in Wayne Tower. There's like filtration systems in Wayne Tower.
Yeah, so the plan is run train into building, machine go off, boom, steam makes everyone die. So like it's a really cool race to the finish. I think this one is better than the one in Rises. I think Rises is like climax is a little lame in comparison to this one. But generally, I think it's really cool. I like watching Batman fight and like just like with his fist in this one. He's more of a brawler than he is in the other movies. He doesn't have all the crazy toys, and that's why I'm really excited for the Batman, because we're getting year 1 Batman, or year 2, I guess, where he doesn't have all his gear, and you're just watching this angry man punch people.
Oh wait, hold on.
What's up?
The villain, the Scarecrow with his like Scarecrow juice.
Yeah.
Kingsman Secret Service.
Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly what was gonna happen.
Kingsman stole it. Kingsman stole the idea. Holy shit.
Kingsman officially not cinema.
Kingsman officially is plagiarism. No, you know, movies are always similar.
Yeah. What don't you like about this ending? Is it just the fact that he doesn't kill Ross himself?
I don't know. It's just the part I don't like is everything after the climactic showdown, because everything slows down to a halt pretty much, and the setup for the sequel is pretty cool, but his like Bruce's scene with Rachel was dumb.
Yeah, it's forced. It is forced. I get the intention. It's like, oh well, we can't be together because of the mask. Like you're always gonna prioritize being Batman over me. So like I get the point you were going for.
And like Raimi's Spider-Man did the same thing, but better.
I don't think this was the time or place for it. Like it's sequel bait, right? Because they're gonna meet again in the second one, except it's gonna be Gyllenhaal instead, and there's gonna be that like that bickering back and forth, like the tension, and also she knows his secret, so like she's in danger, quote unquote, which is a stupid trope and I hate it. But like that's a separate conversation.
I think damsel in distress is my least favorite cliche.
Not damsel in distress. I just don't like the secret identity trope.
Oh,
Okay, so here's the thing with the secret identity thing, right? Like I get it, right? You're trying to protect your people because if bad guys figured out your identity, then your loved ones are in danger, and that's true. That's fine. I agree. But like, hey, if you tell your friends and family, they don't have to worry about you being an asshole and being flaky and ditching them all the time. Also, if anything, you going out there being Batman and then coming home to them is putting them in more danger.
Yeah.
Which I guess it applies more to Spider-Man than because Batman does isolate himself. That's his whole character. Is he's very brooding. He's very alone. He doesn't have a personal life unless he has to. So that's more of a Spider-Man issue. Like Peter, you're kind of an idiot. But yeah, I don't like. I think that trope is really old and outdated. And I think we should like just stop using it.
I remember when I was a kid and I was watching Iron Man for the first time, and we all know the ending where he says "I am
Yeah.
Iron Man" to the press. I remember when I watched that, like child, like 5-year-old me was like, "Oh my god! Now everyone knows."
Well, I think the MCU kind of made that
I
popular.
don't fucking care about the MCU when I was 5 years old.
No, but I'm saying like superheroes revealing their identities became like more commonly accepted because of the MCU. Like the
Yeah,
whole secret identity was like it's really a thing of like the 60s, the 70s, the 80s. Like it's an old comic book trope that I don't really agree with anymore. But yeah, Rachel knows his identity, and that's gonna bring some tension in Dark Knight. We have that sequel bait with the Bat Signal and the Joker card.
oh, that was good. I liked that.
Yeah, this guy is a bit of a jokester.
He's a bit of a joke. Wonder what he's going to be like. I can't wait to talk about Heath Ledger.
Yeah, but like I said more than like I knew I had a lot to say about this movie, and I've been talking a lot, but like I'm excited to talk even more about the Dark Knight.
I'm probably gonna talk more about the Dark Knight. It is Dark Knight is at the time of recording the 18th. It is number 18 on Letterboxd's list of the best films ever made. So I'm excited to watch it. But with that being said, that's Batman Begins.
I really like this one. I think it's a really good reintroduction to Batman. Yeah,
You
if you
know?
if you haven't seen it, I highly recommend this trilogy.
Oh yeah.
I'm sure if you're a Batman fan, you've definitely seen this trilogy. But yeah, just go out and have some fun.
Yeah, if you,
Watch the Batman when it comes out.
and play the Arkham games too. They're really good.
Yep. Except Night.
Yeah, except Night. But
Night. I have opinions on, but this is not a video game podcast.
but it's pretty fun driving around the Thumper.
Oh, we didn't talk about the Thumper. Thumper's the best Batmobile. Don't at me.
Oh, we also didn't talk about the CG. The bats they look good. Everything else looks bad.
Yep. But the Thumper, best Batmobile. I want to drive it for real.
Yeah, we should have talked about the bats. Just real quick. The CG for the bats, because obviously they're not real bats. They look fucking fantastic. Okay, 2005, the bats look great. Like that really that made me happy seeing all those bats. That made me happy. I like bats.
But
I guess
the
you could
Scarecrow
say that I
sequences
am
did not
a
look good.
Batman,
Yeah, I guess so.
and I began.
But the Scarecrow nightmare scenes did not look that great.
No, not as good as they looked like in Arkham Asylum. Everyone played that game.
Yeah, the Arkham Asylum and City are pretty good.
But now it's time to move on to hot off the presses. This is a segment where we talk about movie news, and boy, has it been a busy week. So let's start with let's just start off with something juicy that I'm iffy about. So Futurama is getting revived on Hulu, and if you live in Canada, it's gonna be on Disney Plus because we don't have Hulu here.
Yep, this news came out yesterday at the time of recording.
When I heard this news, I was so angry. I can't tell you how angry I was because the ending for Futurama was perfect. It creates a perfect loop for the last season, but they renewed one season. But here's the thing that I think is making everyone angry is that they recasted Bender.
Yeah, I found that out today. I heard that today that the original actor's not coming back.
Yeah, it's John DiMaggio who played Bender, and
Is there a reason they recasted him?
I don't know. I didn't look too much into it. I don't know who they replaced him with, but I know that it's not gonna be John DiMaggio, and a lot of fans are already rallying. There's already petitions to bring him back, as if petitions ever did anything. But maybe they'll find a way to bring him back if they didn't already pay the actor.
Yeah, they haven't actually done the table read yet, so there's time.
But yeah, Futurama coming back for one last season, and we'll see how it goes.
And I love Futurama. I agree that the ending was perfect, but if the survival is good, it's fine. I'll watch it. I'll enjoy it.
Look, I'll be happy if the revival is good. I just don't know how they're gonna pick it up because the ending created a time loop.
Yep.
I don't know, but we'll see. We'll see. Maybe it's a prequel. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. Next, Spider-Man: No Way Home is the fourth highest grossing film in the U.S. and Canada, sixth worldwide. Pretty cool. If you want to hear us talk about Spider-Man, we did an episode on it. I also talk about Spider-Man in every single episode. I like Spider-Man. Yeah.
Pretty cool. Speaking of No Way Home, there was a cut Daredevil 2003 reference in No Way Home. Pat, you knew about this, right?
I didn't. I found out. I found out about this when I looked at the doc. I didn't know about this.
The reference was because in Daredevil 2003, Jon Favreau played Foggy, and there was going to be a reference where Favreau had a line where he was going to say, "Yeah, I'm a bit foggy on that," while they were talking to Matt Murdock. I wish they kept that in because that would have been funny.
Something not on the doc, but it's kind of related. They announced today that all the Marvel Netflix shows are leaving Netflix on March 1st.
Yeah,
Because the Netflix license has run out, and Disney has yet to announce where they'll be moving to, but they are moving somewhere. I hope not Disney Plus.
it's most likely going to be Disney Plus.
Probably, but I can hope.
But you know what that means? I need to finish Daredevil soon.
But it's also up in the air on if these shows are being revived or not now that the license has expired. So we're gonna have to see. But yeah, that's some pretty sad news because I love Daredevil and I don't care about the other shows. Next we have today we got Super Bowl footage for the upcoming DC projects. I'm assuming we're gonna get trailers this weekend at the Super Bowl, so we'll have more to say next episode. I'm sure there'll be lots of movie trailers there to talk about.
Yeah, we had some new footage for Black Adam. Is that what it's called? The Dwayne Johnson
Black
one?
Adam,
Yeah.
The Flash, I believe Aquaman 2,
Yeah.
the Batman. Not DC, but we got a Sonic trailer. It looks pretty good. Maybe we'll have something to say about Sonic coming up. um, yeah, it's like I'm expecting some fun trailers this weekend. Probably nothing we don't already know about, but yeah, next week we'll have things to say.
So there was a movie that's about Marilyn Monroe that is coming out that's been in production for a while that I just never heard of until today.
I didn't hear about this either.
Yeah, Ana de Armas is playing the titular character, and it is going to be PG-13. Now that is weird to me, because if you're making a movie about Marilyn Monroe, it should be rated R. Because if you know anything about Marilyn Monroe, if you want to make like an accurate biography, is that what they're called? Whatever. If you want to make a accurate non-fiction film about Marilyn Monroe, it should be rated R. Just saying. But it doesn't mean it's gonna be bad. I can't wait for it. I didn't know it existed, and now I do. So now I'm excited.
Yeah, I didn't know this was a thing until I read the doc. I'll probably watch it. I can't say I'm excited, but I'll give it a watch.
Come on, it's Ana de Armas.
I love her. This is officially an Ana de Armas simp podcast. Next, we have the Uncharted movie is screening. It comes out next week, right? Officially?
I think so. Yes.
I might go see it. That's all I'm gonna say. Apparently, it bombed. I wasn't expecting it to be good to begin with, but I'll probably go see it.
Yeah. The thing that critics are crashing mostly is actually Tom Holland's performance.
Look, I love Tom Holland. Don't get me wrong. I just don't think he has not sold me on Drake. I don't think he ever will.
Well, I guess we'll have to wait until the film comes out.
Yeah, I'll have more to say maybe. Actually, not even next week. It'll probably be in 2 weeks because I would have to see it on. I would see it after we record the next episode. So I'll talk about Uncharted at some point. Maybe I'm sure Lib will have a lot to say when he sees it.
It will most likely do an episode on it.
Yeah, he's played the games. I haven't. So
yeah.
I'm going in strictly as a movie guy. He's going in as a fan. So that'll be interesting back and forth, maybe, unless it's that bad. And we both have nothing to say.
That's like what the Batman. He's going in as a fan. I'm going in as a movie guy. So
Well, I can't wait for the Batman. Yeah.
a bit of Star Wars news. So the Book of Boba Fett, the last episode aired this Wednesday at the time of recording. I have a lot of things to say about the Book of Boba Fett. I don't want to say too much just in case we do end up doing an episode when Pat eventually watches it.
Yeah, I actually want to talk about. I want to talk to you about that off camera. So I'm not going to say anything right now, but we may or may not do the Book of Boba Fett at some point. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Following that, we got some exciting news about the next Disney Plus Star Wars show, which is the long-awaited Obi-Wan Kenobi series, which is premiering very soon on May 25th. And I'm so happy, and I can't wait. We talked about the cast. The cast got revealed not too
Yeah,
long
Hayden
ago.
Christensen got confirmed to be coming back recently.
It's oh my god, I can't wait for this. Can't wait for this. This is gonna be so good. Please don't be bad. Please. I was super excited for the Book of Boba Fett, and we know what happened.
I'm gonna be real. It's not really a hot take. I think generally people seem to agree on this. Disney Plus shows in general have not been working for me.
There's only two that I really, really liked. Those being The Mandalorian and WandaVision.
I think the sub 10 episodes format doesn't work for these shows. I think a consistent problem with all the Disney Plus shows is they're not given enough time to brew. And I really hope this one blows me away, but I am not hopeful. I think I'm gonna be real. I think The Mandalorian was a fluke. That show is amazing. It's never gonna happen again. It's like Daredevil on Netflix. Like that show is so good. It was so good, and it's never gonna happen again.
Which is sad because like with Spider-Man freshman year being animated and everything, you'd think they'd have more than 8 episodes, but no, that's still only going to be like a sub 10 episode series.
Yeah, I don't think sub 10 is optimal. I know we don't need like 20 episode seasons like Netflix shows, but all I'm saying is those shows are like Daredevil specifically is great because it had time to tell a story the way I wanted it to. 8 50-minute episodes is not as going to be as good as like 12 50-minute episodes or 40-minute episodes. It's just you need that time to really tell your story, especially because these aren't movies. Like take advantage of the medium you're producing for, and Disney just isn't doing it, and it's a lot of shows are flopping because of it. Lastly, on our hot off the presses list, so like we joked about last time, or I guess for you guys listening, it's going to be a couple times ago. We did our Oscar prediction episode, and we said in that episode where by the time that episode goes up, we'll have the nominations. Well, that was almost true. So I think like 2 days after we put up our episode, the Oscar nominations are out.
Perfect timing, really.
Yeah, we were almost cucked. So like we didn't.
Yeah, and so far that episode's been doing pretty well. Thank you everybody for listening. Like honestly, thank you very much.
If you want to hear our thoughts on the nominations, we put out a little bonus episode. My brain farted.
You want me to say it?
Yeah, you can say it. My brain just like died. Like I just blue screened.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah, so we put out a little like short 15 to 20-minute bonus episode. Hasn't been recorded yet, but it'll come out before this episode comes out. But yeah, just a little bonus episode for you guys if you were interested in our thoughts on the Oscar nominations. Just gonna be a short little episode where we like a little bonus episode where we discuss the nominations, and then obviously once the Oscars do happen, we're gonna have a nice long, probably 2 hour long special.
Yep, we'll be going through each nomination individually. We'll talk about the show because I believe they confirmed this year has a host again.
Yeah.
Don't quote me if I'm wrong. So I'm sure there'll be plenty of Ellen DeGeneres tier jokes to talk about. That'll be really fun. I look forward to the Oscars. We'll see you then.
Yeah, so make sure to check out that bonus episode. It's up right now. Other than that, that's it for Hot Off the Presses. So it's time to move along to our last segment, Backlogged. This is the segment where we recommend each other movies to watch and then talk about it on the next episode of the podcast.
Last week, Lib recommended me a movie I wanted to watch sooner. Like, I planned on watching this eventually. I just never. I don't want to say I didn't have the time, never had the motivation to sit down and watch it. It's Encanto, the late 2021 Disney film, premiered on Disney Plus. I believe it got a theatrical release.
Yes, it did.
Our theaters were closed during that time. I think it got like a couple weeks before our theaters closed over here.
Yeah, actually, one of our buddies was able to watch it in theaters before they closed.
Yep. But yeah, it also premiered on Disney Plus, I believe, same day. I finally watched it. I thought it was fine. I liked it.
I'm on the opposite side of the spectrum where I think this is the second best 3D Disney movie ever made. I gave it 4.5
Yeah.
stars.
I am nowhere near that on that spectrum. I enjoyed it. Okay, so like something we talked about. I don't remember if we talked about this on camera or if it was just like on Discord. I really like that this movie it doesn't follow the traditional Disney formula with like this big villain, and the characters have to have this big overarching story with the villain. They have to overcome this big evil. And Kanto really is a personal story about this family, and what they're trying to overcome is like themselves, basically, like themselves and each other.
Yeah, it's a if you've ever taken a creative writing class, you learn about the like structures of writing. This is a very man versus self movie. If anyone here knows what I'm saying.
I like that. I thought it was very different for Disney, because Disney always has that villain they have to overcome. But I thought this was really cute. I like the character designs a lot. The powers. I like the power dynamic. I really thought that in the end.
Wait, hold on. Power dynamic means something else.
Yeah, yeah. But we're keeping it in. I like the power, like the utility with everyone having powers, except the main character, who I thought would get powers in the end because that's a trope. But they didn't, and I'm kind of happy they didn't.
Yeah, this movie breaks a lot of Disney tropes. The major one being that the main character's parents are alive and well.
And nothing bad happens to them.
Yeah, actually, well, except the mother loses her powers, but you know,
Nothing bad happens. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine. Because the movie is about learning to live as your best self, with or without powers, right?
Yeah.
So, and I think that's a cute message. I finally understand the meme that we don't talk about Bruno.
Yay.
That we're going to talk about Bruno.
Yeah, we don't talk about him, so we're not going to.
So I like the songs for the most part. Our buddy who saw the movie in theaters had told me that he thought there were too many songs,
I thought so as well.
and I think I agree. Yeah, I think there's too many songs. I think like for the most part they're fine. I don't really have a favorite, and I kind of want to give the soundtrack a re-listen so I can properly absorb them. But yeah, I think for Disney songs they're pretty okay. They don't fall under like in the same category as like Moana songs or Coco songs for me. But generally they're pretty good. This movie overall for me doesn't compete with like Moana or Coco. But I liked it. I thought it was fine.
Coco's Pixar.
Yeah, it's Disney. It's the same boat.
Yeah, but when I mean like 3D Disney movies, I mean Moana, Tangled, Wreck-It Ralph. That's what
Yeah,
I mean.
I guess. I think I'd put like Tangled and Moana above this. Tangled is just really good. uh,
Yeah, I like Tangled.
not yeah, not Frozen and Frozen 2 though. But yeah, I think this is pretty fine. I
Yeah,
enjoyed this.
actually, speaking of Frozen and Frozen 2, we don't talk about Bruno. Topped the #1 charts in the U.S., which, unlike Let It Go, only made it up to #5. So we don't talk about Bruno is bigger than Let It Go somehow. I still don't get how.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't have anything else to say about Encounter really.
Well, I guess it's time for you to recommend me a movie then.
You see, Lib, when we, cause usually before we record, we kind of sit in a call for like 20 minutes and just chit chat. And you called me a weeb,
Oh
and I took
fuck!
that, and I took that
Oh shit! No!
So I'm recommending you it's the first movie on your watch list.
Yeah, I
actually,
know
on
what you're
Letterboxd.
talking about. It's Spirited Away.
You're watching Spirited Away. Uh, Honestly, I like it's kind of weird to me that you haven't seen this movie. I think like everybody who's at least a little bit interested in movies has seen Spirited Away. But yeah, you're gonna watch Spirited Away because I took you calling me a weeb very personally. You hurt my feelings.
I put that on my watch list accidentally because I knew if I put it on there, I'd be like, oh my gosh, the Pat's gonna fucking recommend it. I was on the metro and my finger fucking slipped.
I guess not. You're watching Spirited Away.
Damn it. Well, I mean, okay, it did win Best Animated Picture, and it's the only anime that ever won Best Animated Picture.
It's really fucking good. You could choose to watch it subbed or dubbed. I don't care.
Yeah, no, you have to pick for me. Which one do I watch? Which one's better?
I've seen both. I like both. Whatever you prefer. You'd probably like it dubbed. You'd probably watch it dubbed more, just because you're not an anime guy. So you could watch it dubbed. But personally, I don't care.
Our community is probably gonna yell at me for watching it dubbed, but hey,
Nah, but like no, it's Ghibli movies are fine dubbed. I don't think. I don't think.
are they
That's a big deal.
professionally dubbed? Like, right? They're
Yeah, they are.
okay. Good, good. It's not like a. This is gonna be the second anime that we ever talk about on the podcast. First time I recommended at Professor Layton the Eternal Diva, which was only semi professionally dubbed, because the only two returning actors were for Layton and Luke in that film.
Yeah, this is professionally dubbed. It's a really solid movie. I hope you enjoy it.
I actually can't wait to watch it. Like I needed an excuse, and now I do.
Good.
But with that being said, that's going to be it for today's episode. It was a good Batman-filled time. If you liked this episode, you should check out the other ones. And you should definitely check out our bonus episode talking about the Oscar nominations, because I'm really excited to talk about all that shit. Let's see if the Academy really did it this time. But you can find all our episodes and our socials on our link tree, which is linktr.ee/fresh_off_the_reel, or you could just go on YouTube and type fresh off the reel and go in the description and you'll find everything you need. In our link tree, you'll also find our Letterboxd accounts that you could follow, and you'll get podcast spoilers. Whoa!
Yep.
And on the link tree, you can fill out a form to recommend us a film or a TV show. We'll watch that. We'll watch your recommendation, and then we'll do an episode on it. We love seeing your recommendations, and we got one coming up real soon. So make sure you stay tuned for that.
Until next time, we'll see you at a theater near you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Insert blooper here.
Yeah, I liked the songs for the most part. Our buddy who saw the movie in theaters told me that he
Jesus.
didn't. Hello.
God
Apple
damn
ringtone.
it. Hold on. Hello?
Honey,
Yeah. Oh,
Yo,
yeah.
can I have a sandwich? I want a smoked meat sandwich.
Wait, hold on. They have the one called the Star. That's the one Daddy's getting, right? Yeah, I want that. Yeah, give me the same one he's getting.
Can you get me one too?
All right, I'll see you later then. Bye. That's a podcast first.
Yeah, that's a blooper reel material.